What were your guys' previous bands called?
Like the most recent previous band?
Yeah, all the previous bands he had.
History 101. So I was in a band called...
Yeah, we're both really old.
We're gonna be, yeah. I was in a thrash metal band called Madras. They're still going. I was in that band for about 4 years, and they're still touring. After that, I was in a band called Hildas. It was like a technical death metal band. That's what we're doing. And then most recently, I'm still currently in a band called Sisters of the Black Moon, and that's more like
it's that old
Black
Christian
Sabbath
bastard
sort of
who's
band.
trying to like, who's like shunning us,
And these guys.
so we don't feel bad.
We're doing that.
They're interviewing you.
I was in. Let's see. I was in a band called Before Our Eyes. I was in a band called End of Assyria. I was in a band called Fear in Our Eyes. Armoretta, The Collected.
The Collected.
And I think that's the most recent one.
You said Before Their Eyes?
Before Our Eyes. It was actually, we came out right before Their Eyes came out, and then they got big, and we're like, okay, we'll just go die. So.
And what's the first guitar you got, current guitar you have, first song you learn in drums, first drum set you got, current drum set you have?
Wanna go first?
You should definitely go first.
Okay. First drum kit I ever got was this really crappy black Pacific kit from like a musician's friend or Guitar Center. And I think the first song I ever learned was a toss-up between a Poison the Well song off of their CD Opposite of December. I think it was like the last track. Or I think it was a Smashing Pumpkins song, a Butterfly song. Oh, The World is a Vampire. World is a Vampire. Yeah, that's my first two.
Okay, so it's first instrument, current instrument, and what was the third one?
First song you learned.
First song. Okay.
Oh, so yeah, the current drum kit I have is a Pearl birch drum kit. It's nice.
Okay, I'm gonna say the first serious song I ever learned, which is super classic for the time that I was learning guitar, was Stairway to Heaven, which actually, I'm not gonna lie, helped with finger picking. And the funny story about my first guitar and the most current guitar is my most current guitar is my first guitar. I had an old Diarmond something 150. It was like the cheapest $150 guitar that you've ever seen in your life. I got it for my 11th birthday. And I remember because I was watching, do you remember that Korn video with the bullet that goes through the walls?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I was a little kid. Yeah, okay, so I was a kid sitting in my house air guitaring. My mom was like, do you want to play guitar? And I was like, yeah. So we went to Guitar Center, the one in Hollywood actually, and we got this old crappy guitar, and I ended up selling that guitar, and I sold it to my brother actually, and I ended up getting this Schecter Diamond Series Damien RS with the little bats in the inlay. And I was playing a show at Rock City in Camarillo, that's in California, and I remember we were playing with Memphis. We were like, I think we were like direct support for Memphis, and I swung my guitar, the strap broke in the air, hit the ground, completely split itself everywhere, right?
What song was this in? What was it, the last song?
No, this was like, I think this was like the first song.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is the first song that this happens in, right? So I'm standing there like, because this was like my favorite guitar. There's a floating Floyd Rose on it, right? Which is like impossible to set up after you break something on it. So I took all the gear out of that and bought my guitar back from my brother, took all the paint off that guitar and put all the gear from the Schecter into that, and that's what I play now.
And what's your guys' dream tour and your bucket list musicians to meet?
Bucket list musicians to meet. I've already met one of my idols, which is Joey Jordison, who used to play in Slipknot. I met him. I pretty much met almost everyone that I've always wanted to meet, so that's actually kind of cool. But I would love to actually meet Dave Wood. That'd be rad.
But only if he's dressed as Satan.
Only if he's dressed as Satan, and only if he's like playing drums. No, he can play guitar as Satan.
Because he was awesome. He was the best. Yeah, that was great. I'm gonna say like, actually the ones I would want to tour with, kind of like my idols too. I would say like 30 Seconds to Mars, Jared Leto. I've always wanted to tour with them, and I think he's both a great actor and a great musician. What was the other one I was gonna say? Paramore would be great. That'd be really cool. Just because they've always been, you know.
Would you do Paramore or Paris?
I don't know. That's a hard one. Okay, I do love Paris. Don't get me wrong. There's no argument there. But I've always, you know, I'm from back in the day, so Paramore is what we grew up with. You know? And then just someone I'd really like to meet is like Jack Black.
Yes.
Just because coincidentally, like Tenacious D, I feel like he'd just be fun to be around, whether it be musical or not. So.
But yeah, I think it would make sense for you guys to tour with Paris because you know the thing that's the coincidence is they also have a live drummer, don't have an official drummer.
Aaron Gillespie.
Uh,
Such a good drummer.
well,
Is he still playing with them?
He's not playing with Paris. No, Paramore. He was playing with Paramore.
Oh, that's what it is. He's playing with Paramore.
yeah, I don't remember the guy who's playing. No, the guy who was supposed to be in Varsity Emerge is playing with Paris.
That's still cool. All right, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny because they got a live drummer and you guys got a live drummer.
It's true.
So like that'd be really cool for you guys to tour with them.
A lot of those like pop produced bands that are created in the studio don't really have live drummers until like after. It's just how it is a lot of times.
And how do you feel about bands and musicians that after they get signed to a label, they're just jackass to their fans and everybody?
I mean, this is a touchy subject because we were kind of talking about this as a band. We've noticed that like people in our local scene like to say that we've turned into pricks or like, you know, whatever, just because we take this very, very serious and it's very much of a business, but we're not that way. We're very much humble. We hang out. We've literally hung out with every single person here today. Even if we are, like, hanging out with our friends and family, meeting people. But I think as a whole, when you're in a scene that's very much trying to fight for the top, no matter what you have to do to get there, you know, I think people are just really, they like to you know, I don't know,
Make the situation complicated.
yeah, exactly. But that's why it's hard for me to say, hard for me to think that maybe every band out there that's signed, maybe they're not really being dicks. Maybe it's really just, you know, something that happened at that day, because when you're on the road for fucking 45 days straight, you get kind of antsy, and maybe just people take it in a different light. Really, we're just, you know, we're here for you, we're here for the fans, we're here to play music. At the same time, we are humans. You know, we do make mistakes, and even if we don't mean to. That's my take on it.
And how you feel about when bands pay for charge for meet and greets?
I have seen it though. I mean, I feel like that's so subjective. That's up to the band, really. Like I don't care either way. Like no one's ever paid to meet me. I don't feel that they should. But if someone feels that there are enough people that need to pay to meet me, and that's going to help further the career or marketing or whatever it is that it goes to, like I mean, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's, if you're in a really like high level band, like say for example Motionless in White or Slipknot, you know, like they have crazy fans, and those fans are awesome, and hopefully one day we'll have those type of fans. But it's a safety issue. Like you can only really meet 150 of your fans on a daily basis, and if you try to be accessible to everyone, it can get really dicey. And it becomes, especially like when you have a woman in the band, like that can get really insane real quickly.
Complicated.
And so I really just think, I mean, as long as the price is good, like maybe it's like an incentive, like hey, you know, you pay $35, we'll give you this awesome poster, this awesome laminate, and a CD, like a bundle pack, then that's awesome.
At least you get something out of it. You know, like
photos and everything like that.
Hanging out with them should be like the plus to everything that you're already buying.
So you can ask the questions that you want to ask, like just like what you're doing with us. You know, that's what it's about.
How about worst fight you guys ever had and first fight that you had?
Oh God. I think this just happened.
Yeah.
This just happened like 2 days ago. And it was over something stupid, and it was just because when you're on tour and you see each other every day, every second of every day for 2 weeks at a time or 6 months at a time, maybe a year. Yeah, when you're sleeping around each other for every second of the day, like things just get to you. And it was, I think it was, what was it even over? I don't know.
I remember pizza was an issue. It was headphones and pizza.
It was something about headphones and pizza. Like someone didn't ask somebody about using their headphones, and then later they're like, "Well, you're not having any pizza."
And pizza was thrown.
Yeah. So yeah, it was dumb, but it's always dumb. It's always dumb like that. And the cool thing about being in a band is like being in a family, and you want to get past it.
And how about first fist fight you guys had, like with somebody at school, or like they wanted to fight, so it's like you brought it to them?
I beat up a kid, 3rd grade. Summer going into 4th grade, I beat up this kid, broke his tooth because he was picking on my friend. And I was like, no man, you can't pick on my friend. Clocked him right in the face. Got sent home.
What is it? Did you pick that from a 90s movie or what?
No, that's like legit what happened. It was fun.
I think my first fight was I was with a friend actually, and at that point I had never been in a fight before, and I think I was like 19 or something. And I was like, hey, we should get a fight. I feel like that's something I should do in my life. And he said something bad about my girlfriend at the time, and I actually ended up hitting him, and we had to take him to the hospital because he had hit the ground, and I guess we had broke one of his tear ducts on the cement.
Shit.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of fighting. Super not cool, especially when it happens with friends. So.
And what movie have you seen the most?
Oh God. Wait, I can answer this one immediately. The Labyrinth was David Bowie. Not because that has absolutely nothing to do with anything David Bowie related recently. Before he died, before anything else like that happened, I loved that movie. That and The Dark Crystal. So.
I think for me, it either had to be. Are we saying about in theaters or just in general?
In general.
It's in the angles. It goes to like Photoshop or something.
It's hard to say.
Really, it's not The Labyrinth, it's David Bowie.
It's not.
I love Jim Henson stuff. Anything with puppets in it, I don't know what it is, but gotta watch it.
I watched Nick Cage's Snake Eyes a lot when I was a child.
What a weird movie to pick. Nick Cage is awesome.
Nick Cage is.
Yeah, he's
Ooh,
one of my
Con
favorite-
Air. Nick Cage. From
Oh
Con
my
Air.
God, in Con Air, he
There we
was
go.
great.
That was awesome.
I saw that in theater.
Did you really?
Yeah,
That's
I did.
awesome.
That was great when it came out.
And what would you rather be, a pharaoh, a king, or a god?
I'm not down for slaves, so I wouldn't be a pharaoh. I would rather. I guess if we're talking about Greek times, I guess a god would be pretty sweet. Kind of like humans, just temper, lightning bolts.
Okay, see, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm gonna say a god, but not Greek-wise. I'm gonna say, like, Viking.
Ooh.
Like if I was like Odin's son, that would be awesome. Or if I was Odin himself, that'd be really cool. Because then I would be like, yeah, I'll be gold. Hit things with an axe and just eat pig all day. It'd be great.
How about an alien or a predator?
Oh, Predator. What do you? Yeah.
That's Predator. He's got
Predator.
the cool thing with the.
And he's got the dreadlocks too.
Yeah, I mean, I would look terrible in dreads, but I'm down.
And how about Kung Fu Master, Samurai, Silent Assassin, or Ninja?
Jedi. It's just what it is. We're all Star Wars freaks here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If we have to go with anything, I would go with Jedi. But I always wanted to be a samurai. Especially one of my favorite movies involving samurai was The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. So that was like a really big one for me.
And how about a pirate, sailor, airplane pilot?
A pirate, sailor, or airplane
A
fighter?
pirate. Oh
Yeah.
my God! Like I watched Pirates. It's funny, actually. Our merch
There
guy,
we go. Pirates of the Caribbean. I saw that movie so many freaking times. That's what it was.
Bring it back to that. Actually, it's funny. Our merch guy used to be
He was a pirate at one point.
Kinda, yeah. He was a bosun mate, whatever. I don't really understand what that is.
Yeah.
But they say that in Pirates of the Caribbean, and I never understood what that was until I asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's what I do. I'm like almost like the first mate." So, totally pirate.
If life was like a video game, what would it be like?
Oh, like Leonardo DiCaprio's that movie The Beach, where he goes like into 8-bit from all the drugs that he takes. Yeah, I saw that. You're ridiculous. Or Lego.
What video game company would you own?
Huh?
Video game company would you own?
Square.
A Square Enix?
Yeah. Oh, Blizzard. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Blizzard. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
I don't know. No, maybe. I want to say EA because they make a lot of like across the board games, but I don't know. Maybe what is it? What's the one that they make all the guys that are like super buff for no reason? Something engine.
Oh.
They made Gears of War. What do you know what I'm talking about? What is
Not Steam. That's
no, Steam's the
developer.
it's Unreal Engine.
And who got you into music and near-death experiences?
Oh, I almost got eaten by a shark once. No joke.
That went south so fast.
So, I was in this like little like Indian guides thing back in like Orange County where I'm from, and we were at the Catalina Island. And I was like super young. I think I was like probably 10 years old, and I was kayaking by myself, probably about 30 feet outside of the water. And the net part was only where the kids were swimming, and the part where I was kayaking there was no net, so any fish or whatever could kind of come through. Right. So I noticed that like I was by myself. I noticed that my father and like the guard was like yelling at me, and I couldn't tell really why. I was by myself, and I felt this bump against my kayak. I didn't know where it was coming from, so I looked down. I saw this 6-foot shark with this like black beady eyes. I think it was a blue shark, so it was like not gonna hurt me or whatever. A 6-foot shark just chilling right there, like knocking my kayak, and I just had to paddle super hard. And luckily he didn't like try to mess with me.
Your breathing sounds so sexy.
Who got me into music? My great grandfather is a pretty famous Italian mandolin player from like the 80s.
Let's see. My mom, I guess, helped me get into music because she bought me my first guitar, and I got stabbed by a guitar player. I was in a band with.
And how about first song that you heard that got you into music?
Well, I asked about on your balcony.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, Korn's Blind.
You were there when I.
See, I want to say Korn as well. Like I literally told a story about watching it in air guitar. I feel like it had to be like, I don't know, like Jimi Hendrix or something like that. But I feel like Korn is when I really got to a point where I was like, yep, I'm a guitar player.
It was either Korn's Blind or was watching Ace Ventura, the first one, and watching Cannibal Corpse play Hammer Smash Face.
Powerman 5000.
Oh my God! When worlds
collide.
Yeah.
When worlds collide.
That's a great one.
And what would you rather have, a train, plane, yacht, underground transportation?
Underground transportation.
Are we talking like a speedboat that goes underground?
Like underground, like I don't know, I guess like a tube thing? I don't know what it would
Like
be.
a bullet train?
Probably, yeah.
That'd be super
Underground
cool.
bullet train.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that too.
Favorite mythical creature, a mythical creature you'd be, and mythical creature you would own?
I always dug Cerberus.
Cerberus?
Cerberus, yeah, that's awesome. I own that.
All across the board, Hydra, and Hydra. It has nothing to do with Marvel. Just because when I watched Hercules the animated movie, he cut off the head of that one and it grew into two, and I was like, my animal will never die. You never gonna catch him.
And name one of the crazy stories from your band that happened.
Last night, while everyone was asleep, Kaylee and I, we were on like a 15-hour drive.
I woke up in the middle of this.
Last night, Kaylee and I were driving, and for whatever reason, our van has had so many problems. All the lights turned off in the front of the vehicle, so we literally could not see anything in front of us. We were going 75 miles an hour, and we realized that as long as we like pulled the high beam button out while she was driving for the next 5 hours, we were okay. But like, it kept on going out, in and out, so it was super scary. And then also the car dying
On the freeway?
On the freeway.
Okay,
going to Dallas.
I'm driving. All of a sudden, the car dies. The power steering goes out, and I can't use the brakes. So I'm just like, oh God, what am I doing? And I had to like squeeze as hard as I could on the brakes to get it to even slow down.